Welcome back to the comment section. My name is Tamara, Tam Tam Talk on Instagram. This is Iron Mike. And yes, it's a prop mic. Let's get right into the episode. So we're talking about P. Diddy, obviously, because he's everywhere. And nothing funny in the comments, let me tell you, and that's a good thing. That shows that we all still have humanity. Now, obviously, will there be jokes in the future? Probably. But it's still too hot right now. We're not touching it, and that's good. So let's get right into the tone of this narcissistic man's comment section, shall we? P. Diddy's apology was the classic abusive narcissistic attempt to paint himself as the actual victim. Next. Diddy's ego couldn't handle the public hating him. He wasn't apologizing to Cassie. He was apologizing to the world. It didn't help him, and it made him look worse. I bet his lawyers told him to stay quiet, but his ego and narcissism wouldn't allow it. So it's just the word that keeps popping up. And I know we overuse words often to be casual about it, but this word actually is in the right place at every right time. You call them blatant gold diggers and extortionists to your lawyers for years. Then when the evidence shows up, you're just like, I'm sorry? What a joke. Marinate on that one. Because that really happened. Somebody's name was actually dragged through the mud because an egotistical man had the power to hide the truth. Next. There's one joke, and it is appropriate. Ned Flanders once said, Diddy is Diddy Doodly Done. There's 8 replies. Let's see what they say. Wise words. Getting that tatted on the back. These are blind reactions to these comments. I have not read these yet. Next. Now this one's funny and it's appropriate. You went to therapy? I'm going to need those receipts. Next. I take responsibility for my actions in that video. But what about all the actions not caught on that video? Oh, according to him, those didn't happen. Only the one on video happened. Next one is funny. Someone should fix Diddy's breathing problem. Next. Call him Sean Combs. He ain't Puffy no more. He ain't P. Diddy no more. Next. I haven't seen a single person on his side or believing his apology. It really speaks volumes about the desperation to save his falling career. I haven't seen anybody either. Next, this guy has no soul. Next, oh my goodness, he's better off staying silent. It's not like it's a one-off behavior. I take full responsibility for my actions in the video. Case closed. Guilty of aggravated assault. That's it. Everybody's a lawyer in the comment section. You gotta love it. It's a good time party. He hit rock bottom. He hit rock bottom that time in the video? I don't think he knows what rock bottom is. But I hope he gets to experience it soon. Next. With all that money, you think he'd get those warts burned off his face. Next. His mind is set for making an apology video. He was high, though. He was high. He's nowhere near as handsome to deserve to be with the women he's been with. Next. Why? Why? When you had the world at your hands? Now that's $1 million question. Next. Take him to jail, please. Next. Diddy pooping bricks. Next. That lawyer guy did not blink one single time. They're talking about Ben Chu, Johnny Depp's attorney. Next. He's just sorry he got caught again with that one. Next. Seriously? Is there anyone actually out there buying this bullshit? I doubt one person does. His time is up. This is the kind of person that says, I love you, when he really means is, I love that you love me. This one is an honorable mention. It's not very creative, but it's definitely a classic. Don't drop the soap. Next. Lock him up. Diddy done. Next. Mention. It's not very creative, but it's definitely a classic. Don't drop the soap. Next. Y'all have not taken your foot off this man's neck, and I love it. And I love the person that wrote that. I wouldn't have advised my clients to make a statement, and I'm not even a lawyer. He is not sorry about what happened. He is sorry he got caught for the 100th time, my friends. So here's the conclusion to the comment sections that I've read over in the last 2 days. Everybody understands this man is a monster, so that's good. Now, I'd like to expand that upon our society, my friends, because there is this thing called stanism and idolizing, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people and personalities that have been birthed under the same guise as Mr. Diddy Combs here. Whether they were influenced by his megalomania, and that just pushed them to become narcissists, or if they themselves have been walking amongst society being a narcissist the entire time. There are red flags that you can spot early on into a situation, and it doesn't have to be a romantic situation. Narcissists activate themselves in every scenario, my friends. In workplaces, in friendships, anywhere there is an exchange of human personality, their goal is to dominate the situation and the narrative. So before it becomes full-on gaslighting, right, we want to catch those red flags early on, because narcissists are also gaslighters. So if you want to avoid getting into a tangled situation, first and foremost, you have to start with your own foundation. You have to understand where your boundaries are, set them firm and clear, and be consistent with those boundaries with everybody. Yes, even your parents, even your children. Because what your boundaries mean to you is where your core foundation lives. So we can't let other people impede on our boundaries. And it's so important to start with ourselves, knowing what those boundaries are so we can't be swayed or manipulated or convinced against our own beliefs. So for example, if I had this container filled with peanut M&Ms and somebody came along and said, hey, can I have some of those? And I was like, actually, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be selfish, but these are my peanut M&Ms that I need for while I'm studying. And the person decided that that's not a thing, and they just took a handful anyway, and they're like, what's the big deal? Big red flag, what's the big deal? That's a big red flag. When people say that to you, it's disregarding. It doesn't care about how you feel or your boundaries or your opinion. It's just disregarding, and then you feel petty, right? But here's what I'm going to tell you. That's that little sign showing you what's coming in the future to the bigger things. Because that's a character trait. We get caught up on the action, and we get manipulated by the action when the other person responds to it by calling us petty, or what's the big deal, or it's just a couple. It can be rationalized to a point that kind of starts to make sense because we're not petty. Isn't that funny? It's a matter of saying, notice those little things, because that person's character is not going to change. But remember, they're always going to question you, and what's the big deal?